Greetings fellow mammals. Once you reach level 12 you get the weapon of today's video, the BSV-M. This is the setup I use and would also recommend to you. Currently the BSV-M has a spot in A tier. It used to be S tier until the visual recoil patch came along. Let's see if it will be able to reclaim that rank once we take a last look at the overall balance of this game. Before we talk about the time to kill though, it is important to note that the BSV-M has two different ways it can be played. There are the close combat ammo types, with those it turns into an SMG, and then we have the high power ammo types, which turned into a hard-hitting DMR/AR. On top of that, we have both the short and long barrel available to us, and we can also switch fire modes to fully automatic. I will be showing you only the graphs of all four ammo types combined with the short barrel and in full auto, because that is what my build is aiming for. Just keep that in mind. If you are going for the long range tap fire DMR build with the long barrel, these graphs are not representative of that performance. Okay, that's the disclaimer out of the way. Now here's the first one. Starting with regular close combat ammo. As I said, this somewhat resembles a regular SMG. Be aware, we are looking at time to kill values here. This is actually a 5 bullet to kill though. Then we also have a close combat ammo that is simultaneously subsonic, so basically the same thing but worse. And the same applies to high power. We got the regular version. Another small note, this is not a 5 bullet to kill like close combat from before, but instead a 3 bullet to kill instead. Although it maintains the same time to kill, as you can see. And then we have the subsonic version of high power. Again, just the same thing, but inferior. Picking our main ammo is pretty easy in my opinion, since we get access to a lot of 5 bullet to kill guns with a similar type of performance. That is nothing special. But having a 3-shot weapon with that performance is. So high power as default, the extended magazine of course, and in the second slot high power subsonic, also extended. Why not the small high power magazine that would have the same performance? Yes, but also only 11 rounds. At a point where I run empty on high power, I can live with a reduction from 75 to 50 meters in my 3-shot range. I cannot live with half the shots per magazine though. Maybe you see that differently. If so, pick the other one. For the last slot I pick close combat ammo. In the end this is still a pretty good SMG type setup, makes for a good last backup. The barrels are obvious, obviously the short one by default, then the long one, and if you really want to you can just carry all 3 of them. But personally I would say that doesn't really make sense, either you lean one way or the other. Going in the middle with this gun is a bit pointless. For underneath we don't have too many options, but of course our long-time acquaintances, the LWG grip and LS1 laser. Pick what fits your playstyle more, aiming or hip firing. Then I choose the bipod, although personally I will never use that. And in the last one our favorite makes a reappearance, Flashy the flashlight. Yippee! For the sights I would like to pick my red dot, but for some great reason I assume it's not available on this gun. This is the first but certainly not the last time we will encounter this highly logical balancing decision, which I very much love. Thank you dice. So that means I have to pick something else that has a low magnification, and that ends in the K8 holo. Then a thermal like usual, and for the DMR playstyle the 4x switchable. And that's the entire loadout. Pretty smooth sailing apart from the scopes. If some developer could explain that to me, I would love to hear your reasoning, but be sure it won't be the last time I will complain about this. Anyhow, A tier. Really. I have to say this gun has always had an S tier, and quite comfortably so. And then the developers changed how visual recoil works. So after that patch, every gun was shaking a lot more than before. And this one in particular was hit pretty hard by that patch. So at that time it was perfectly logical to rank it down for that. Because before it was an absolute laser with this insane time to kill and a 3 bullet to kill performance. Without a doubt S tier. And after that patch it became impossible to do half the things at range you could do before. Now here's the problem from today's perspective. Every gun got nerfed this way. And the BSV-M, even though it got arguably hit harder by the patch than other guns, has such a good performance, I just have to move it up again. I still stand behind the downranking back then, I think it was justified in the context of that patch, but in this retrospective review, in the entire lineup today, it is obviously S tier once more. This was fun to record gameplay for. I hope you had similar levels of fun watching it. Should that be the case, cast some thumbs into the fiery pits of Mount Algorithm. And if you want to see more videos like this, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. That's it for today. I will see you on the battlefield. Sorrow out.